I'd like to ask both of you to speak about what you feel is the current situation with doctors. Mm-hmm. Certainly during the pandemic, but even without the pandemic.
I think that modern medicine is very challenging these days, above all if you work in a big academic center as we do, because there is the health system changed, so we have to work at a faster pace and the workload is higher than in the past. And there is a lot of stress, and we saw that above all during the pandemic, you know, when we work under uncertainties, above all at the beginning during the first wave, many people were emotionally imbalanced. And at that point, I realized how my meditation practice had affected me in the long term. Like, I was stable emotionally during the pandemic, during COVID. I didn't experience a lot of that stress that I saw in healthcare workers. So I think that TM meditation can just benefit healthcare workers in any aspect of their life, professional, personal, because we want to compartmentalize things, like to think you have your private life, you have your professional life, but we're all one. It all comes together. So the stress that you have at home, you bring at work, and the one that you have at work, you bring at home. So there is not even one aspect of life where TM cannot have its beneficial effect, above all in terms of developing a certain resilience and self-awareness that help you manage your life at 360 degrees, I think.
You know, when the pandemic hit us, I was already strong. So I was calm, I was confident. I never felt really like, oh, what I have to do. I was very good. Since I started meditation, my sleep has been incredible. And I think as doctors, that's very important. You know, I used to work on 3 or 4 hours of night sleep, and that was not only detrimental for me, but also for my patients, you know.
You know, I'm a different person today than I was before I started meditating. For me, there is definitely a before and after TM in my life. It's like the day of my instruction is like the second day of my second birthday. Because I had a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of stress, anger, and I was not going in the direction of my dream. And this is why I started TM, and then my life completely changed from that day on.
I started 2 years ago, and I was at that point with a lot of challenges personally, professionally. I was not, you know, I was burnt out. I was exhausted, but could not sleep more than 4 hours a night. And I remember we were finishing a case, and Anna Maria said to me here in St. Louis, she said, Cecilia, you don't look well. I'm like, no. So she said, you should start TM. I said, TM, what do you mean TM? She said, transcendental meditation, you will understand what I'm talking about. I never had time for anything. My life was constantly like working. And then she says, yes, it's just 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the night. What? I don't have time for that, no. And I said, but there was something inside that I said, why not? Why don't try it out? So, you know, it has been incredible. I agree with Anna Maria. It's like my second birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And let's go to the point you made just a minute ago. You thought, how am I going to do this? And then you thought 20 minutes twice a day, you know, how could you, how do you do it? Do you do it every day?
Yes, absolutely. I prioritize. It's part of, I know that I'm better. Now I cannot live without it. I'm such a much better person. I'm better. I make my time the same, you know, it's just about priorities. And I realize that it's something that I need for my personal growth and to be a better person, a better friend, a better doctor. I'm better with my patients. I'm better with my colleagues, with my employees. So it's something that I do it and I love it. When I started 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes felt long, but right now it's like, oh, are we already done? So it's incredible.
You know, you have to work in teams when you're in an operating room.
Yeah, no, definitely. TM brought me a lot of calmness and a lot of focus, you know, because there are certain moments in which in the operating room things can go wrong and can go wrong pretty fast. So you have to act quickly. And I noticed above all at the beginning how I was able to keep focus and how I could have experienced stillness even in serious situations. You know, the stillness that you normally have while you meditate, the beauty of the practice that you can bring it outside of your meditation. So it's not just the 20 minutes twice a day, but you can experience this stillness even afterwards. And it's very important that you keep focus on what you're doing without losing the totality of the situation. So you're dealing with the patient, but there are people around you, and you know, when you are calm, that propagates in the operating room.
It's definitely kind of developing this super mind, you know, like you do it effortless, you are engaged, you are focused, and that's, I think, the things that I have taken from TM is this state where you are really focused and there's a super mind inside you. And I agree. I mean, when I'm in the OR, I'm the leader, so it's very important, you know, how I'm behaving. And after TM, I became more awareness of everybody, trying to show that everybody's important in the OR, not only the surgeon and anesthesiologist. You know, I'm grateful for all the people that are there. I'm kind. So yeah, for me, I think that my environment changed completely.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd also want to ask, what's it like to be a woman doctor in the operating room? You're both playing a leadership role. Mm-hmm. And it's a new thing. It must be new for some people you work with.
I always thought that because I was a woman, I had to do more than a male would have needed to done to get where I was. And sometimes, you know, we talk sometimes with Anna Maria, like sometimes they will call Dr. Smith, and for me it's Cecilia. And I'm like, no, I'm not Cecilia, I'm Dr. Pascual. So it's just, people need, you know, to learn. It's okay, but it's challenging. You have to learn how to speak up. You have to show confidence. You have to be strong. Sometimes you have to raise your voice a little bit. So it's a learning, you know, it's a learning. I had to learn it, how to do it.
Hmm. And how about you, Anna Maria?
Yeah, so in anesthesia, there are more women than in orthopedic surgery, but still, you know, the higher you go in academics, the more men. It's still male prevailing. And in the operating room, sometimes, as Cecilia said, as a woman, you have to remind people that even if you're a woman and you're young, you're the anesthesiologist there. So you're not Sweetie, you're not Anna, you're Dr. Bombardieri. And it needs a steady reminder sometimes. And as a woman also, you have to be in certain moments when there are codes or other things, you have to be very direct. You have to raise your voice. People have to listen to you. Some certain days I work in the operating room and we are all women, and it's a joy, from the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the resident, the nurses. And it's a lot of fun because when we find that because we're all at the same level, and we know how difficult it is for a woman to be in the position where we are, and I think we appreciate even more.
Yeah, we celebrate. Those days are celebrations.
You know, Mario, I think that we always share with Cecilia about the joy that TM gave us, even that we bring at work. Well, at least for me, the first few years of my career, I was very focused on doing a good job technically. You know, I want to be a good doctor. I want to provide the best care. Now I still do that, but I also want to have a good day at work, and I want to have a great relationship with my colleagues, with the residents, the trainees, the fellows, the surgeons, the nurses. And when you arrive in the operating room and you have this joy, because it's an underlying joy, it's a state that you have, you bring it to people around you. While if you arrive a day and you are stressed, you're mad, the whole environment resent your emotions. So it's good, like TM gives you joy, and you bring joy also to other people, and it reflects like in the relationship you have at work, because you don't just want to work, you want to have a great experience at work, a great day.
I always say it's my secret weapon, you know. It's incredible, because it's kind of what Maharishi used to say, you know, like you water your seed and then you see the flower. It's something very deep, you know. It's my personal growth, and it has had tremendous impact in my life and in all my surroundings. It's not only affecting me. I think people are like, wow, I'm really jealous how happy Dr. Pascual is. Like, I am happy, you know what I mean? It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's really great.
And it's this happiness that doesn't derive on something. You know, before TM, I needed to do extraordinary things to feel happy, right? everything needs to be extraordinary. I have to engage in activity, in things. Now you're just happy out of nothing. You're just happy. You wake up for no apparent reason. You're just joyful. And sometimes you feel like, yeah, it's a little weird. Why am I so happy and joyful? Because happiness, even the word happiness, a little bit overrated. But once you experience this internal fulfillment that TM gives you, out of just, it's just a state of being.
Yeah. It's nice to know that that's who we really are. Thank you again, Cecilia and Anna Maria.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank
Ciao.
Ciao.